It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade? Provide a world-class shopping environment where local goods and services can be provided and experienced by locals and visitors. Why is this redevelopment necessary? The renovations and expansions will revitalize the infrastructure and enhance the shopping experience for vendors, locals, and visitors. Who will be responsible for the Vendors Arcade? The arcade will continue to be operated and managed by the Castries Constituency Council, who will have full responsibility for the rental and maintenance of the space. How will construction of the Vendors Arcade be managed? A phased approach will be employed to minimize disruption to daily operations. After the completion of each phase, vendors will be relocated from the former arcade, and this will continue until completion of the new facility.
St. Lucia Cruise Port, investing in people.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The voice.
Thank you so very much for staying with and today tuning in to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside my co-host and co-producer, Terry Fenelon, and our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. We hope you had a wonderful long holiday weekend, because we didn't have a program on Friday since it was the 1st of August, which, as you know, is Emancipation Day. I hope you made the most and the best of it, and that you are ready and raring to go for another week of this program, which is weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM 91.3, the frequency for the north, and 91.5 for the south. It looks like it's going to be a while before we have another holiday, you know. Yeah, you know, you have the rush of them, Independence and Labor Day and the 2 carnival days and Emancipation and all this, you know. There might be others in between, Corpus Christi and Whit Monday. We've had quite a few of them coming in essentially the first half of the year, haven't they? Well, looks like the next time we're going to be having one is when? I can't even remember. That would be October Monday, we used to call it, right? Thanksgiving. So we might have to wait a little while. Those of you who love holidays, brace yourself. Students, it's gonna end, you know. September coming soon. You gotta go back to school and all of that, but you shouldn't be unhappy about that, okay? We are living in beautiful times. Except for the not so beautiful crime situation. And I have to say, the reason I'm going there is because I feel a little confused. I hope it's not so with you. I hope it's not so with others, about police claiming a breakthrough in the Kimberly De Leon murder, but at the same time saying that they have had a setback. So I don't know how you can be punching the air about a breakthrough or celebrating it or any form of triumphalism about a breakthrough if that breakthrough is countervailed, is antidoted, is detracted from by a setback, that a crucial piece of evidence has gone missing. So what is a breakthrough? If a crucial piece of evidence that will assist in cracking the case has gone missing. I kind of wonder, you know, what it is that they're celebrating. I'm disturbed about the Kimberly De Leon killing, as I am disturbed. And it isn't that the killing of a woman is worse than the killing of a man, you know. That isn't what I'm on. It's about generally women are considered more likely to be defenseless, more likely to be unarmed, more likely to be helpless. And in the case of Kimberly De Leon, shot inside her own home, I'm bothered about that. The boldness of some of the killing of, is like the people who did it are so confident that they will get away with it. The killing of Hermia Lord on the Grosley bus stand, I'm told about 7:30 in the morning, in full view of so many other bystanders and passers-by and commuters and drivers and so on, killed right there. Daylight hours, you know. What are we talking about? In March 2021, an arrest was made less than a month later, about mid-April. Somebody was picked up, a suspect, and the guy, I think, was formally charged. You cannot name somebody who is just a suspect and they have not yet been formally charged, and they move from being suspect to being accused. We were told that the person's name was Michael Poloy and that his nickname was Mad Crime. That's a very, very intriguing name, you know, for somebody who is accused of murder. Killing the woman, pumping several shots into her right there on the Grosley bus stand. And from what I'm told, I don't know if I got that one right. Maybe I missed it. The guy was not even masked, you know. From what I'm told, the guy was not even masked. Maybe I missed that one. Okay, let's not make it a big point, a big issue here. But he left, escaped, fled the scene. Police were able to determine that the guy is from Vanna, but he was eventually arrested in somewhere in Choiseul. Now, the name Poloy, when I hear it, is one that I associate with Choiseul. I know a few people. It isn't a name that is very widespread or common. But beyond that, we're not convicting him on air, on radio, on TV. What has happened since then? And the guy has been on remand all that time for almost 4.5 years. What is the situation? When is he likely to face trial? That is another thing that is undermining That is another thing that is stymieing the administration of justice, the long delay in arresting and charging somebody and having them to stand trial. Their fundamental rights under our Constitution to face justice within a reasonable time is being undermined. Remember, that became a major issue, the issue, in the killing of another female, in this case a 12-year-old from somewhere down in the area between Labrie and Choiseul, called Valinda Joseph. The man, her stepfather, who was accused, suspected initially, accused. It took so many years, 9 years the guy spent on remand in detention. They could not bring him to trial. They had to let him go based upon the very same constitutional motion that was brought until they were able to process the case and bring the guy back in. And I think it took another 3 years or so before they could finally get that case to move to the courts and get a conviction. Who knows whether this may not go to appeal and what may happen and what ruling may come. Again, another female. Then we had the more recent case of a young lady in her late 20s called Alana Bernard, gunned down a few yards from her home. The police need to do a better job, as I think Commissioner Gad has done, in terms of saying, look, we've gotten some further clues or what could be a breakthrough in the case, but at the same time we are suffering a setback. Let people know where things stand with the Hermia Lord case, the suspect Michael Poloy, what is preventing that case from going to trial, what really is the holdup, what additional case management and processing and so on. We are waiting for some DNA evidence, we are waiting for some this, we are waiting for whatever. I mean, there are certain things you can't share with the public without endangering, without jeopardizing, without threatening, without risking your case. You need to do that, and I have said so many times. The reason why is that in almost every one of these cases, I'm not saying they are not involving males where we have had those female victims, people are of the view that it is witness elimination. We know, or we have been told, that young Valinda Joseph may have been killed because she knew certain things, she was seen talking to somebody, and it may be that her killer was worried about what she might have been revealing, about a very long history and pattern of abuse that had been taking place in that family. You know, by the guy Eugene St. Romain, who had been involved in criminality for longer than most people realize, because he's always so well groomed, well cut, looking like the perfect gentleman and so on. But the situation with Alana Bernard and so on is another one where people are saying it is likely a case of witness elimination, that somebody who had some case pending. In the case of Alana, it is known that she had made a complaint about being sexually assaulted. Somebody was arrested, I think charged, and from what I'm hearing, you know, that's the point. Police, give us something. We have a suspect in the Alana Bernard, whatever person who was charged. You can't mention his name. It's a sexual crime, not until and unless he is convicted. But at least let people know that an accused person has been in custody since Alana Bernard made the complaint, whatever. Because somebody's calling me and saying that this suspect, not in the murder, but this suspect in the rape or whatever it was that Alana reported, may have been let out, that after whatever amount of time, because that happened well before her killing, maybe about 3 years and so on, the person has been let go because they just could not find. You don't have to name, we understand the law, but just say that the person who Alana Bernard alleged sexually assaulted her, who had been on remand since such time, has been released pending further investigations. It remains an active, you know, the police parlance already. And we are looking into it. Where is that situation? I am stressing on that a lot, because one of the big problems we believe we have with crime, violent crime, gun crime, is the fear, the unwillingness the hesitance of people to come forward and provide information. If those cases go and it does not seem like a vigorous pursuit of answers, of solving them, the fear will take over people and it will deepen. Because you have so many things. The person who raped her may have been let out. That at least 2 suspects in her killing were taken in, but the police could not find the sufficient evidence tying them. And that's constitutional. You can't hold people and have them locked up and you don't have anything to go by, or you tried every angle and it didn't go. But at least let people know. Because I had the other thing that my source told me on the weekend. And one of the people who was arrested, maybe even surrendered when he heard that the police were looking for him, and who has since been let go, that this individual is probably, that's the word, that there's through the grapevine word on the ground and so on, that when we had this recent rash of killings in Marchand, Black Malay and so on, that one of the people killed is believed to have been one of those guys. One of the guys who, the talk of the town in hushed whispers through the grapevine and so on, is that he was one of those. Now, was he killed because somebody got to know or believe? Because many times out there in the little underworld and so on, people know who kill who, and who shoot who, but they have their own thing to protect. They have themselves to protect. Maybe they have their own skeletons in the closet. Maybe they have their own crimes that they've committed that other people know. Let me shut up about yours so you may shut up. But it is believed that this guy, according to underground rumor and whisper, that this guy, one of the people who was killed recently, was one of those who was taken in, who was interrogated about the Alana Bernard killing. Are there other people who are at risk? Are there relatives who probably believe that they know who? And they will either take out people or contract people, other people, gunmen and so on, to take them out. This is the chaotic situation. Police, you need to brief the public while not jeopardizing. I don't know if it is lawful to say one of the people killed was being looked at as a possible suspect. I don't know, as a person of interest in the Alana Bernard. But if you allow the fear of people to come forward and provide information to take root and to solidify, we'll be in even deeper trouble than we are. And when it involves women, helpless women, a woman coming from work, just heading home and so on, a vehicle was circling, somebody just get out and pump several shots into her. Another woman doing a job on the Grosley bus stand as a dispatcher, secretary of the Grosley minibus, somebody just come and pump some shots into her. Another woman at her home, somebody managed to get inside, who knows, call her and tell her it's me, so and so and so, that maybe opened the door and it's not the person she thought it was, and then she ends up being dead. You have to find a measured way to bring the public into your confidence, so that people will not be overly spooked and freaked out and afraid and terrified and so on, because a lot of those crimes have the character of a certain grade of terrorism, to keep people in absolute terror so that they're afraid to say if they saw anything, whatever. You have a piece of evidence that is missing. I don't know what the evidence is. Maybe by saying what it is, somebody may have seen something. Somebody may have seen somebody dumping something somewhere and they thought nothing of it. And they can say, look, I saw this guy come by that pond, up at Cap Estate, whatever it is, and I saw him toss something inside there some time ago, I didn't know who he was, or I saw so-and-so, or I heard somebody talking like that. You never know what might come up as a result. I am appealing again, police, you must have a measured and circumspect way of sharing information with the public and taking them into your confidence. You never know where it may lead. Just remaining completely mum and nobody knows where things stand, where the guy mad crime is he in, is he out, what. You know another thing that came about the Alana Bernard thing? For the first time I'm hearing that the car from which that gunman or gunmen alighted, one driving, another one shooting, whatever, that there was a third person inside. That there was a third person, and that third person was a woman who claimed that she was kidnapped, she was virtually held hostage inside that car. I don't know why, if it's her car and somebody came and they hijacked it and forced it, whether she knew where Alana was living and they forced her to show them, we don't know. But I'm told that this person has since fled the country. Did she flee the country, if it is true, because she knew more than she was than she was saying? Did she flee the country because she's right that she was, taken hostage and so on, and she's afraid that if anybody fingers or gets caught, that they'll figure it's she and they'll come back for her? We cannot allow fear to rule over us like that. And I'm saying, police, as much as you can help the citizenry to overcome at least some of that fear, it'll be helpful to all of us, including you, the police, who are taking the lead in very dangerous situations to go after those things. I'm not saying you're not doing anything. I'm not saying you're not doing the right thing. I'm not coming down on you like any ton of bricks. But people, we have to look at things, as we love to say, outside the box. Let me hand over to Terry. I see West Indies finally out of 10, 11 matches, 3 tests, and 8 one-day internationals. Yeah? That they finally won. I was having a discussion with Terry before the program, and he said, which win? Pakistan threw the game away. Down to the last ball, they managed by just a couple of runs to surpass the Pakistan total. At least one out of the past 11 games in what is to be considered their zone, their region, their hemisphere. Whatever it is that West Indies managed to scrape right to the bottom of the barrel, one game. I don't want to say anything further, but I can say, if there is hope for some territory, some part of the West Indies rising to re-energize, to rejuvenate West Indies cricket, I think we have seen some hope in the last few days in terms of, our youngsters.
Yeah,
Akim Ogis.
I just have it there because
I feel sorry for them.
we have to highlight the youngsters.
Yes.
Shelton.
Go ahead.
I'm wearing my Juju shirt.
Yes.
Because yesterday was exactly 1 day.
1 year.
1 year, sorry. From the time she won
that gold medal.
Gold and silver.
Right.
To me, I've said already, you see that silver? To me, that's worth more than the gold. She was out of that race.
Yes.
But she remembered that there are solutions on the Terry Walcott Square. Cherry for her.
Yes.
And she got that final, boost.
Yes.
And she said, I cannot let my people down. And she took silver. That silver is worth a lot, And we have to also remember, Shelton, for 150 US, it almost didn't happen.
One thing with you, when you want to something, you don't let
you must
forget.
You must not. No, people, when you be going back to the polls at some point.
And those who do not remember the past
are
doomed to repeat it.
Do not forget that for 150 US, and for a man's petty vendetta against a politician, Sean Edward, that gold and silver medal almost did not happen. And so I'm going to put that on the record. I see your favorite person call us Tom and Jerry. I'll not tell you. Hello. For 150 US a month, that was taken away from Juju. That almost didn't happen. And I've told you already, I don't do hero worship. But for that girl, I went all out. I think I made it my duty to get a couple of shirts. I think I have 2 more. Yadi was able to print that for me. And I wear it. I don't do hero worship, but there is something special about Juju. Her humility and stuff. And her tenacity. She did not give up. Even when that 150 US was pulled away from her to settle a petty vendetta against another politician. And Shelton, we must repeat that. We must let the people know. But thank God, she brought home the beacon, and she found a receptive prime minister in office at the time, and we made good by her. Jojo, you delivered to us, and we are proud. Akim Ogis, you all know I'm a big Kimani fan, but Akim Ogis, I must bow my hat to you. Let me take off my hat like a gentleman. Oh, that's Shelton, that's phenomenal, In a 50 over final, this young man, 213 not out. I think I have it right. This is a tremendous knock. Now, one of my friends in the group asked me whether he'll be playing for West Indies. I said, why not? He's good enough. He cannot be doing worse than the others. Fidel Edwards never played a match, for thing. When Lara spotted him in the nets and brought him in. Sometimes you have to take chances. Hakim, that was a great knock. You understand? And we are proud of you. Proud of the team. The coach, Crafton, Kimani captain, Hakim for that. I mean, tremendous. So we must not forget the youngsters. We must big up the youngsters because we don't want them on the block committing crime. You understand? And I don't want to piggyback on what Shelton said, but I admire the commissioner. He did not hide. He came forward and he told us what the situation is. But back to sports. You saw the finishing of the England-India test match, Shelton?
I watched it yesterday. I haven't watched today.
Well, Shelton.
But I have to tell you
It's
this, without you even telling me anything. England and India, I admire both of them. There was a never say die attitude about them. You see this young fella, Harry Brook, when he came in. At least the other guy, what's his name?
Joe Root.
Yes. You know, that's a veteran.
Joe is the best. He's good.
Come up where England were reeling at whatever.
And we just playing basketball.
You know, the guy was just, playing. But the Indian bowlers, you can see a lot of self-belief.
Yes.
They blunders, they were drop catches.
Correct.
You know, including the guy who had the ball already and stepped over the boundary line. I mean, there were some things, but you tell yourself, those guys, there's a self-belief that we can do it.
Yes,
we can pull this off.
Never.
What I find with West Indies, especially among the batsmen, the top order, the recognized batsmen, there does not seem to be that self-belief.
Let's not break our spirits, man.
You know, I'm telling you, I can't rejoice in India. You know, but I find that West Indies lacks that self-belief and never say die in them.
And again, West Indies is good for just one inning, man. But hello, and Shelton, what's remarkable? There were 25 days of cricket, you know, and the grounds were always filled to capacity. People say if test match cricket is dead. No, it's only in the West Indies that is dead. You know, the Ashes will be coming up. And who you could expect the fireworks again. You understand? It's not dead. I mean, that is test cricket. That is one to see for purists like me, you know, because Shelton T20, good entertainment. But cricket, technique, strategy, it's 5-day cricket. And one day, so we're playing the Pakistanis first match on Friday. We will see what stuff we are made of, because it's not for 5 day, but you have to negotiate 50 overs. There's a lot of strategy involved. And we'll see how we have evolved in that format, because
so
right
India,
now
India pulled it off, eh?
India pulled it off.
Just about 30 something.
Yeah, by 6 runs. By 6 runs. You see, cricket is by margins, you know. By margins, you know. 1 drop catch, 2 runs. It's by margin. You know, thin margins. And they stuck it out. This guy went to bat there, you know, injured. But somebody was making the thing about Malcolm Marshall. Malcolm Marshall once batted with a broken arm, you know. And he was playing shots.
That is
when, you know, you carry that, you know, the maroon and the crest, and you kiss the crest. You know, because you played with heart.
People admire that.
Now, Sammy had that. Sammy has that. I can tell you that. You see, Darren Sammy, forget what did you think of him as a coach or anything. As a player, he understood what it was to represent, you know, that crest, like Walsh. Because Walsh was the one who told them, take the crest off from the right side to put it on the left side, because that's where the hat is. No, it's true.
Yes, okay.
If you notice, in the early days, we had the crest on the right. And then he says, no, man, you have to change that, the location. You have to put that on the left. You know, you could kiss that. And Sammy had that. It's unfortunate, you know, that he cannot translate his brain, because I believe Sammy has one of the best cricketing brains around. But you cannot translate that, you know, you can't transfer that to fellas on the court. So, yes, as a coach, he's getting his licks. I might give him licks too as a coach. But as a cricketer, and determination and playing for pride, he had that. And that is what we find lacking in some of the fellas now.
Permit me to just take a few seconds to commiserate with one of our most steadfast fans, audience on the Facebook Live and so on, Terry Alex, who says, good day, Shelton. I think I was blocked from your program.
Inadvertently.
I cannot get you at all from since Friday. Well, we were not on Friday, so I don't know if she's...
that was... He was mistaken for somebody or troll. So sorry, that was our. So tell him he'll be re-added to the.
Okay, I get Y and J. That's Yadi and Jaim, NBC, but not your program.
Yeah, Terry Alex. Yeah.
Okay, Terry Alex, I've just sent you the YouTube. So maybe you're having problems with the Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'll send you the YouTube live. live streaming, so you can hold on to that for the time being.
Until.
But Terry has just given the assurance
Yeah.
that it was inadvertent, it was in error, and that is going to be rectified. All right. So sorry about that. In the meantime, let me just read another quick message before we go for the break. There are a couple of them. One of them says, residents from Monkey Town are complaining about the condition of the road. Question: did Juju use that road last year on her huge victory?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but I believe she did pass through Cicero and so on in acknowledgement or whatever. But to me, it's not all that long. I went down Monkey Town and so on, and I didn't find the road was that bad. But roads deteriorate.
In light of the recent comments, we should change the name of Monkey Town.
Yes. I'm sure all that will be done, including the renaming of the Millennium Highway that is planned. I'm just trying to see if there are other things. Somebody just messaged and said, please extend birthday greetings to an avid listener who says that I must send his greetings to you or I'll be in trouble. Philip Leon of Bexon.
Okay.
Is that the Pastor Phil Leon?
No, I don't think it is in Bexon.
It's not the same person, okay.
But there's a Teacher Jean who I think listens to us too. I think Teacher Jean, it's your birthday today, so happy birthday to you, Teacher Jean.
All right. And somebody has said, I'm tuned in now. Did somebody break through the evidence room and took the evidence? I don't know. You're asking absolutely the wrong person. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Let's take our first commercial break, and then we'll be right back. It'll memorize the numbers, so I'll be there to help him. I think you all know that already. Don't go away, please.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's ginger turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters on this Monday, the 4th of August 2025. It's our first program for the 8th month of the year, for the month of August. As you would recall, Friday the 1st was a holiday, so we are into August territory, where Real Issues is concerned. I'm accompanied today by Terry Fenelon, who will take it away from here.
Shelton, boy, people are calling already. They want to call it. Yeah, we know. We're going to make this interactive because it's your show, and we don't want to hold back. Talk too much and thing. You have a lot of information to give. You have a lot to say. We understand that, but sometimes just let us flesh out a few things there. Technician has just stepped out a bit. When was it? Friday? No, not Friday. Thursday was the last show.
Yes.
And I was telling you, Philip J. Pierre, no matter what you think of him. Well, I don't hear him stammering, so that speech impediment is not as it was because he speaks. I know sometimes in mid-sentence he will change to go to another topic, etc.
Who's that?
Our Prime Minister. He might not be the most eloquent, but I told you he has a working brain. And although, on the world stage, Mia Motley has it on the world stage, you have to give Jack his jacket and Jennifer her jacket or Jari, whatever. On the world stage, she's it. I agree. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty, I told you already, Dr. Anthony described our Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, as a nuts and bolts man. And when he does things, you could rest assured that you could relax. He has things under control. And his work, he doesn't speak loudly, he doesn't boast. He's not a boaster, he's not a charlatan. His works are being seen and being copied. And I told you, Mia Motley copied him in 3 areas. You realize that, right, Shelton? The one graduate per household, Mia Motley has copied that. Well, you know about the food security and stuff. Mia Motley copied that. And Mia Motley just last week signed 2 loans with the Saudis. You have that, Shelton? To build healthcare. And just put a picture one for me. In Guyana, it doesn't matter, I'm not supportive, I don't live in Guyana, that's Guyana's business. But one political party has decided to copy PJP. Just put it up quickly, we're not going to dwell on that. Look at the slogan. Look at the slogan. If you go on the Facebook page, the APNU party, look at the slogan. Putting people first. And you must listen to their platform rhetoric. It's really copying what Philip JP is saying, you know, putting you first, sticking a slice of the pie, and ensuring that every Guyanese gets something. And that's Philip JP. So when you are there, you know, you're there talking your papi show. I see a talk show talking about watered down address. That was a fantastic address. Emancipation address. Fantastic. People call him racist. Where's the racism in that? We have black people. Gaston Brown had a wonderful address too on Emancipation Day. So I don't see what you're talking about. So he's copied. And I'm sure as I peruse the news around the Caribbean, we'll be seeing more of what Philip Japierre is doing, being copied in the other hands, because his policies are sound. Regardless of what you hear, Tommy Hilfiger, Tommy Descat, and the others say, his policies are sound. Last night we tried to listen to the Sunday Funnies. Did anything come out of that? Let me remind you all that these fellas had a Sunday Funny in Dennery.
Sunday Funnies.
Yeah, Sunday Funny. But that's how because it's either, if it's not Bolom, it's El Quapo. So I mean, it's nothing serious going on there.
Listen to that, Notary. I hate to break your stride, but listen to that.
Yeah.
Alan Chasney. That's yesterday, you know, posting, almost being sentimental, almost bleeding heart. You know, there was a time not so long ago when we could sit across from one another, hold different views, and still find common ground in mutual respect. We could debate passionately, disagree honestly, and then shake hands at the end of the day. It's time we return to those values of decency, of dialogue, of unity over division. Our democracy depends on it, you know. This is the guy who forgot how he treated a journalist, a reporter, Janica Simon, you know. Pointedly, she asked a question about a white paper that you had promised. You understand?
Yes.
And then what do? She asked a question. Any more questions from anybody? You look past her to try to humiliate her. Hasn't this guy forgotten that he is the one who presided over one of the most glaring, audacious, you know, acts of victimization and deprivation in this country, depriving 6 constituencies of state funds. That's not your money. State funds for a constituency development program, and so glaringly, so blatantly giving those funds to the 11 constituencies that your party represented and were hence part of the government. We could go on and on about victimizing Alan Chasney, you know, about petty Alan Chasney, you know, about vindictive Alan Chasney. But you want to come with this sentimental, bleeding heart, kind of, you know, modeling thing.
We can do this.
We can disagree.
You lost your right to speak.
You're the man who entered the House of Assembly as if on a mission to see if you can embarrass and continuously gaslight the speaker by making no meaningful contribution at all, especially where your constituency is concerned, to go and to lobby, to go and to make a case for my constituency. I've never heard the guy go in and say, Blusher, we've been asking for this for so long. Nothing like that. Is always on some kind of irrelevant theatrics and so on. You on like your heart is not there, or some fake dramatics that you're always trying to pull off, and you are such a poor actor, not even at the most rudimentary level of local theater and arts and so on would you ever be able to set a foot in the door. But that's all you want to do, to take on Claudius Francis, the right to do this, to go and say, Richard Frederick is a 2-day visa he got, you know, this foolishness. Sorry about that, you know.
That's okay.
This is a guy who posting this hypocritical.
He went on TV and called Dr. Anthony Amasa.
Yeah.
He tried to change his name, and you said all manner of things about him.
A young woman who has an enterprising frame of mind like her father.
A non-entity.
You go in and call her a non-entity. You know, I mean, this is the guy, you know.
Yes, but and you expect people to be cordial and shake your hand and bow to you. Yes, master. It ain't gonna happen. You have to change your ways, my man. You have to repent and ask for forgiveness.
And then he and those with him always try to make an issue of references to his color, but you cause it.
That's right.
Because people must be scratching their heads and say, I wonder why this guy is like that. I wonder why this guy is supposed to be one of us, but he acts like he is. He's not grounded and bonded. He doesn't have identification and bonding with us and so on. What it is about him, he talks about how he played basketball in the George V Park in the gardens, how he did this, how he cleaned septic tanks to earn some money, all this kind of thing. Yeah. So if you're so much part of it, why your behavior is so consistently loaded and pitched against us, including your policies on foreign direct investment. Anyway, go ahead.
So I was saying, Shelton, I mean, you remember when these fellas had the Friday funnies in Denry? They came in for 14 point 13 points? Bullet
they always have points.
They asked
they always have quadrant.
Chat GBT.
But the quadrant has five portions, It's quad, Quad, which means 4. But a 5-thing quadrant is 5 to stay alive, and 5 this.
And in 2 weeks, when we began to scrutinize the bullet points, they all fell apart. You notice they don't refer to anything again. And now they're asking you to come with policies. You have none.
It's always gimmicks.
Gimmicks. You have not shown the public what you have not told us, because I'm a St. Lucian, what it is that you're going to do for us. How are you going to take the country forward? You know what I mean? You come there, you pretend as though you're never in government. You sat in government for almost 6 years and you did no, you did things. You did things. I lie. I must not lie on national television. You did things, but the things you did were detrimental to us. You understand? You mashed up, you demolished custody suites. You attempted to blow a hole at Pigeon Island. You understand? When Mr. Tulsi stood up for us, you starved the National Trust of money. You understand?
Why hasn't this guy changed his name? Why doesn't he continue with that Chastney thing? I mean, Allen was the name of perhaps one of the most infamous hurricanes. Just change the Chastney in your name to Kwasi. Allen Kwasi,
And so vindictive were you against the National Trust, you mash up jazz. And you ensure that Soleil never held anything at Pigeon Island so that they cannot get any income. Wicked man. You understand? You did all of that, and you want to tell us, put you there again? You deny that your minister signed the documents for the patrol letters. You're on TV line. You sat with across from is it Russell and Stanley and them? Said, do you know anything about that? The minister has assured me that there's no letter. And then the minister now is admitted in the House. Yes, I signed patrol letter. 2 of them. $176 million. Let me ask you, where would that money have been deposited? Because it did not go through, that transaction did not go through Parliament. It was not parliamentary approved. The minister seeking money on our behalf was not the Minister of Finance. So how could you have sat there and not disciplined that minister? I mean, that boggles my mind. In any other serious country, that minister would have been fired or prosecuted in jail. Where would that $176 million be deposited? And would it have been a charge against the consolidated fund? Would we taxpayers be held responsible for repaying that money? Come on, man. This is, and your fellas are there as you all have done nothing wrong, and you all want us to vote for you again. Dominic! Where's the money for the ambulance? Are you going to present it when they open the Canaries fire station? Because as far as I'm concerned, I saw the video clip of you soliciting monies at, and you made it clear that you have substantial money and you're having something at Harbour Club and you have monies for the... Where is that? Because I heard the Minister of Housing say they cannot find it. Now, I'm not saying anything, but where is it? When that Canaries fire station is open, we're supposed to have 2 ambulances, one from the government and one from you. And you're sat there in government and you're coming out of corruption. 30 direct awards in one day. CHTTI collecting monies from a foreign government on behalf of your wife's school. And you're coming out about corruption. Spider over Hotman. Now, today I wanted to discuss a little about things, but we'll have to do that tomorrow. No, we'll take that tomorrow because it doesn't sit in with my trend.
Okay.
So the lengths, because people,
All right.
Shelton, I told you earlier, people have been calling me. They want the number because they want to call.
Okay.
To call.
All right.
So
Well,
it's up to you.
listen carefully. You
Yes.
can WhatsApp call us.
Right.
The number is, of course, I don't need to say our area code 758 487 9849. 487 9849. That's the WhatsApp line number. And you can also reach us on the local landline 4533911. 4533911, local landline 4879849, WhatsApp calling. Do we have a caller yet? We do.
Wow.
Good afternoon, Real Issues, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brother Shelton, and good afternoon, Brother Ferdinand. How
Good
you
afternoon,
doing?
sir.
Hello,
my
can you
friend.
hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, you're on the air, go ahead.
Yes, I want to make a contribution this afternoon in two parts. I want to first congratulate the Babuno Concerned Citizens Committee. Yesterday we had an activity at the Fonso Primary School yard for a dear brother who's still at hospital. So we had a praise and a prayer and worship session which we organized for him. It was well attended by the community. We had persons from all around the island attending. We had pastors from the various churches in the community, members of the various churches in the community. I want to thank them for that, and I also want to thank the committee members who worked hard within 72 hours to put that program together. That's well executed. Based on reviews, it was top notch.
Right.
But my main concern there, my part two, is Titus Prevail. We did not extend any invitation to anybody. Everybody came to the activity. But what was disturbing for me about Titus, and it was not disturbing because that is how the Flambeaus operate. And when people tell me about Titus, it's different to what's happening. I tell them if Titus was different, he would have never joined that Flambeau gang with Guy Joseph, Alan Chastain, and Dominic Fede. So he's just like them. And yesterday he proved that he was just like them, because we, the committee members, we organized the activity. You came to the activity, and to me, for Titus, it was a meet and greet. The man busy shaking everybody's hand. The man busy going to the family shaking their hands, which I still didn't really fault him for that too much. Okay? But the committee members who organized the activity, the man never come and check us. The man never find out who's who. But I guess you know who I am, because last time I introduced myself on the program, and I think they already tell him who I am. But then the other members, at least come and tell us something, come and tell us something, because we gave you came there to piggyback on our event, come in and shake people and meet and greet people. I was very disappointed. Now I wanted to say something, but then the nature of the program we had there, it would be bad on our part. That's why I did not say anything. But I said I need to call the radio stations today. I called Yadi and Jaim this morning, and I said I need to call your program this afternoon to let Titus people know. Stop being a leech. Stop being a leech, and you have to respect people's program when you come to it. Yeah, you come to the program. I don't say you're gonna shake people, but at least come and talk to the committee members. Come and say something to them. Come and give them whatever encouragement if you are genuine. You understand?
Yeah.
And I have another warning for him. I have to tell him, Babuno is not a ministry. Babuno is not a supermarket. I heard him talk about his accolades and his academic achievements. I applaud that. But that is not a prerequisite for politics. I want to ask Titus, where was he? Where have he been? All of us been like a ghost here up here. And he's saying, but he's coming in there just to try and take over the leadership. If he wants to take over the leadership, I have a message for him. Allow the election to go through. After we whip them, then he'll try and come in if he have to. Okay? Now, a lot of people know who's speaking, and we're going to stop at nothing. We're just waiting for the
announcement.
Prime Minister to make an announcement.
Yes.
For us to really deal with Titus the way we have to deal with him. But in interim, I have to tell Titus, he's not welcome in Fonso.
Yes,
he's not welcome, and we will make it difficult for him down there. Very difficult.
Thank you.
Not only in Fonso.
Thank you,
not
caller.
only in Fonso, in entire Babuno. Thank you very much.
We're waiting for the announcement too. I am waiting.
Yes, that's what we're waiting for. I know you're waiting for it, my brother too. I know you're waiting for it too.
He hijacked the pre-vigil for... I understand. So he came there to use that as a promotional, partisan promotional thing.
You cannot do that. And when you do that...
We'll make him pay for that.
Yeah, recognize the members, recognize the people who work hard.
Yeah.
To bring so many people that are going to meet and greet them. You understand? Disrespect.
Yeah, disrespectful.
Disrespect. And if you vote for a man like that, what will you expect from a man like that? Nothing different.
Yes.
No respect. Just like that.
Okay.
Just like Dominic. Just
Thank
like
you. You made your point. You made your point. Thank you very much.
All right, do we have another caller on the line? Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you now. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I just want to leave you with a few quotes and a few actions. I don't listen. I let the jackasses pray. It's not every dog that barks that I will listen to. Kenny Anthony, if you look at his history, it's a massa mentality. The public servants, you have no right to tell us
how to run government.
Right? The opposition has lost their right to speak. And you have a whole bunch of supporters attacking Philip J. Pierre, calling Richard names, calling Philip J. Pierre a monkey, going after his family, and all other ministers of government. So how on earth are you going to expect anybody to believe what you're trying to say about politics used to be one of mutual respect and blah, 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 blah. Let's add another action. Going to Miami to meet with the owners of Lotto to ensure that that contract is taken away from NBC.
Yes.
And the employees lose their livelihoods. And a whole host of other things. So this rebranding under the auspices of what they call these people, Cambridge Analytica, trying to sell himself as something that we know he clearly isn't. It's not going to work. All right, that's it, gentlemen.
Yes,
All right.
Yes, go ahead, Shelton.
Thank you very much. No theory.
Yeah, as the gentleman said, we're just waiting for the announcement in Baburi, and then you'll see a tsunami. To be frank, boy, you'll see a tsunami coming down there, in waves. So be patient. We're not not to say we're not in a hurry, but we are strategic. And frankly speaking, that tsunami, he will not understand what has overwhelmed him, because you do not hijack people's prayer vigil to play politics. No, there's a young man there. This young man has been good to the community, well known. He has been a worker, a contractor. He has fallen ill. And if we are coming together, people are coming together to pray, you don't mess with that.
Let's take what could be our final call before the commercial break. We don't know. So let's
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Sir.
Gentlemen, one of the utterances that Alan Shastney has made, that we as a people should ensure that he never raise his head again in active politics, is slavery had a conscience. And that one is something I take personal. You know why I take it personal? Because whilst I was at school, at the Anglican primary school, some children of lighter skin color would say to Miss Adeline Cooper, my teacher, Miss, I don't want Gasper to sit down by me because he's too black. And I took that personal. And for me to get some form of relief, Shelton, I can tell you that, I had to go and study history. I went to the history books. And I realized that being black isn't a sin. Being black isn't an offense. And I had to go and study about people like Muhammad Ali and Nelson Mandela and all the black people that made us proud. And when I look at what we went through as a people concerning slavery, the pain, the torture, the way that we were packed in tin like sardines. At times, if the ship was too heavy, they had to throw us as a people in that sea for sharks to eat us, We were chained. We were flogged on the cane fields. And for you to come and say that slavery had a conscience, to me, that is enough to encourage us as a people to go out when that election bell rings and ensure that we paint the country red. We have to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, it's 1:30 now, so if we don't have anyone on the line, or we have someone, okay, let's take that call and then we'll go for the break. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, and how do you do, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about
and
you?
And your co-host?
Yes.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
We now go back.
Oh, no.
Not a thing goes so. Have a good day, people.
Wow.
Short and sweet.
You have to call it that. All right, let's go for the break. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. When we come back, more of your calls and messages on the home stretch. We wrap up at 2, don't forget.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Clans Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man, the voice, the voice. Your hero.
I'm Shelton Daniel, and with me is Terry Fenelon. A not so nice message, but it's kind of what I might consider funny. That septic tank thing must be one of the few truths he's ever spoken in his life. Explains why he's so full of it.
Full of it.
I left out 2 letters because, Shelton begins with those 2 letters. I'm not going to have those 2 letters, associated with anything like that. So you better behave yourself.
Maybe that's why he's so full of it.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's so full of it. The telephone number 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that, and you can also reach us on 4533911. I think we have someone on the line already. Right? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
We're okay. We're okay.
All right. What I called to say is, this problem they have in there right now, there with the commissioner and what is happening with the evidence that was misplaced or whatever, tampered with. That is not been happening now. This has been going on in the force for a while. My point is that Mr. Gad come to try to put things in place. But in all institutions that have rotten eggs and bad officers, I'm speaking in general, they'll have a pushback and a heavy pushback. Because the same people that are involved in what is going on will not stay to find themselves their back against the wall, which that have not been happening in the force for a long time. That police officers, the corrupt ones, when they do what they do, they always get away with it because of this one protect this other. So what Mr. Gad is doing there, it's a kind of difficult for him to really get through exactly how he wants. Now this evidence have been there for a while, It's not as Mr. Gad come there. This evidence there. And what I want to know, and I'm sure the public wants to know, how long that evidence was tampered with. If it's during his time or before his time or whatever. The last thing, the investigation about that container that was seized on the wharf with all these guns. It's going on 2 months now. We never heard something which Mr. Gad himself came on TV and said that there will be arrest and charges, people will be charged. And up to a day like today, we are not hearing nothing. So I hope he doesn't take the same amount of time of Shaka Dunn case and the lady of the month, which just shot in her house, that same amount of time to tell us about that container. Because this container is not only under his watch. There have other commissioners that be there, and containers, they have been seizing them. And nothing happened, we never heard nothing. So this one, I expect Mr. Gad have to tell us about that container they find with all these guns and these ammunition. What is the happenings of the people we say that will get arrested and charged? That is what we are looking to hear. So those that are inside there doing the dirty work, they will not go head to head with you, Mr. Gad. So it's just like you trying to put things right, and they will never support you. So you yourself just have to know what to do and how to do it, and to survive in what is going on there. This is my take on it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, caller. All right, I think we have another caller on straight away. Hi, Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, good day, comrade.
Hey, comrade, how you doing?
How y'all doing? I'm good. Well, I've not heard from y'all. It's nice to see y'all. Yes. I heard in your preamble, Shelton, when you spoke about all these things that are happening, and we've seen that all the time, all these cases getting pulled, and now with that happening, that just leaves no room for speculation. Yes, I mean, like they say, there's a lot of square pegs. Yes, in the wrong holes. So, okay. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. Like so many of these cases happening and they're going down cool, and the criminals know that and they capitalize on all these things. They know the justice system Yes, they say like justice delayed is justice denied. So that's the situation right now, the international, and I believe that the criminals are taking advantage of this. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay.
People mentioned the Shaka Dan Daniel. There was an inquest. It took a long time, but the inquest came out with conclusions which pointed out that look, there was behavior on the part of the police that was not right, that was not lawful, and that resulted in or contributed to the death of Shaka Dan Daniel. Now, somebody knows that with that inquest, conclusion and report, that case going forward, somebody might be in hot water, you know, and so, you know, it don't have to be who was fingered, but somebody trying to protect comrades and so on. Do we need to look back at the whole custody matter, custody of exhibits and the chain of custody and who has it, so that people can be held to account, you know? At what stage did that thing go missing or was it taken out? Because they had strict rules for the chain of custody of firearms, they were able to bust a police officer because he took an M16 out of whatever armory, but they were able to trace and say, no, it had to be you, you know, because up to that point, it was accounted for, you know. Anyway, we have another call on the line. Real issues.
Hi, Shelton, Terry.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Gentlemen, two things. Sorry. Alan Shastney, almost on the eve of another election, will come and say to us, the people of St. Lucia, because the figures that we're still so very gullible, the 43 percenters, that he remembers there was a time in politics that people were decent, things were done decently, there wasn't all this and that and blah, 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 blah. But Alan Shastney seems to forget that before he entered politics, the politics of our country, it's not that we didn't have little problems, we didn't have little skirmishes, but when Alan Shastney entered the politics of our country, and the records are there, this thing just exploded. All this stuff just exploded. And as for when he became the leader of the United Workers' Party, and as for when he became the prime minister, I mean, well, look, Alan Shastney wasn't behaving like a prime minister, you know. Alan Shastney was behaving like a king. A king. And today, you want to say to people, you remember, I mean, I don't know who Alan Shastney's handlers are. I don't know if they figure that by saying to him, make a statement like that, you know, so you can attract, you know, some kind of positive feeling towards you, you know, because you want to see some change. But Alan Shastney, in my opinion, is primarily responsible for some of the things we're seeing, some of the bad things we're seeing in our politics today. Alan Shastney, I mean, attacks on you know, journalists, I mean, unbridled attacks. And mind you, it's not that before Alan Shastney's time, they weren't attacks, you know, but not at the level, you know, we've been seeing since Alan Shastney entered our politics, especially since he became prime minister. I mean, disrespecting, whether it be journalists, whether it be other politicians, ordinary citizens, I mean, you name it, calling people all kinds of names, breaking the law, I mean, offending the Constitution, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And today, Alan Shastney has the cojones to say to people, to make a statement about how, you know, boy, you know, there was a time. Alan Shastney, go back with that because it will not fly. You are primarily responsible for us seeing the level of that kind of stuff in our politics today. Now, gentlemen, this thing about the commissioner of police coming out and saying, well, you know, they had a breakthrough, and the breakthrough led them to scrutinize a key piece of evidence only to discover that the evidence was missing. Gentlemen, listen. I mean, this just doesn't make sense. I mean, look, and I wrote a piece about about that on, Facebook. Well, not a piece. I responded to something that Don French had written about it. And some of your callers mentioned it. I mean, what type of system, and I know, and a caller said too, and he's right, that this thing goes way back in terms of missing evidence. It goes way back. So, look, there are so many questions that need to be answered. I mean, what type of system do we have in place in terms of evidence? And gentlemen, look, we're not lawyers, but I'm sure you know that too. One of the key things, the main things in any court case is evidence.
Yeah.
Is evidence. And again, I'm no lawyer, but based on what I've read, based on what I've heard from lawyers and from other knowledgeable people, and I may still be wrong, in any court case, the things that are really looked at are statements on law, or statements of law, statements of fact, and when you talk fact, you're talking about witnesses, you're talking about evidence, and all of that kind of stuff. So we know that evidence plays a major role in any court case. So we need to know what system is in place in terms of our evidence, because we know too there are rules governing evidence, and those rules are laid down in law. There are rules in terms of handling evidence, storage of evidence, all that kind of stuff. And if you contaminate evidence, you can no longer bring that into a courtroom. So we need to know what system is in place. When did the police commissioner know? When did he know that that thing was missing? What kind of team does he have in place in terms of managing evidence, taking care of evidence? Who are the people who have access to whatever room, evidence room, and so on? I mean, do we have cameras? We need to know what system, and the commissioner of police must come out and answer some of those questions. We're not saying to him to divulge information that ought not to be in the public domain, but basic stuff. We need to know the basic stuff. So, if the police commissioner now says to us, look, here's what is in place, and they have been asking for funding from the government to put certain other measures in place to protect our evidence, but this has not been forthcoming, we can understand that. But we need to know what system is in place and what have you been doing to make that system better. The public needs to know, and he must tell us. He needs to tell us. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Jerry?
Yes, Shelton,
we'll wait our next call.
you want that, so I don't want you to go back there, but these are important things. We need to build our trust. Whereas I give the commissioner full marks for not hiding this and not sweeping that under the carpet. You came out, you told us, but something deeper must be done, some serious investigation. And if there are rogue cops in there, because I don't think a civilian went in there to tamper with the evidence and went into the room or something, it's tells of an inside job, something.
That's the perfect phrase.
Yeah,
inside job.
Inside job.
Do we have
something has to be done.
Text message?
All
right, I think Jaquan is forwarding to me
a text message.
A text message. No.
All right.
A call. Sorry. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Real issues. You're on there.
Hi. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Good. We sometimes clamor and sometimes we try to figure out what is going on in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. But if we have to follow the procedures based on what is happening, there are different levels at which different officers are and have to speak concerning some events. And you would have noticed in the time of Miss Frances Henry and all these persons, there were different times at which different levels of gazetted officers spoke. But what you have noted, what we must note as a nation in recent times, from the time of Mr. Mosheri, Mr. Daisy, Ms. Pellius, there seems to be no support from the officers surrounding them, which does not help the cause in terms of law enforcement. So when a commissioner, whether it be Mr. Gad, whether it be the lady who just left, they are left alone to speak to items where there are officers of different ranks that are supposed to speak to that. Because the buck stops with the commissioner. And sometimes what we are observing here, is that you have persons who are just sitting at police headquarters with ranks on their shoulder doing nothing. How does the nation go forward in terms of that? How do we benefit as a people knowing that we're relying on persons just because they have a piece of paper or two and they are not productive? And that is where public service have to look at some of those people sitting at police headquarters doing nothing.
Okay.
So I don't know if you understand the whole dynamics behind what is happening.
Yeah, I know. We live in a situation where, and you mentioned Mr. Moncheri and all. I would say from way before that.
Second, please.
You mentioned Mr. Moncheri, Mr. Daisy, as if from that time. My opinion is that from way before that, the police force has been affected negatively by a culture of everybody wants to rule the world. That too many people, their mind is on becoming commissioner. That's what they want. And there can only be one commissioner.
One commissioner?
Yeah, there can only be one commissioner at a time. But quite apart from that, my concern, I don't really know what's going on inside the police force. The theme I have been on, and if anybody has misunderstood, I want to clarify, is that the leadership of the police force, the high command, need to figure out ways that they can engage the public in a manner that will basically tell the people this is how you can help the police without endangering yourself. You know, this is how you can give information without having the fear that that information could lead to you suffering harm or worse than just harm. This is what, I mentioned about if somebody's from a place like Fulasho, how do they go and give information to the police in this congested area without the legitimate fear that right outside their door, somebody could be there listening to them and they will never know. The very construction of the houses, the closeness, the flimsiness of the material and so on. If somebody inside there see you talking to a cop, a police vehicle pull up and they see you leaning or talking to a cop inside, what kind of calculations are they making in their mind about what you might be telling them? Are you going to sit down and work out with people from those areas, as an example? Well, this is how you can get the information to us without anybody, it's seeming to be so, such and such a thing. This is what you can do. These are some systems we are setting up while not compromising their own security. And I also believe there's information that the police can share with the public without jeopardizing the integrity of cases that they're pursuing. These are all different things, and I believe the police, there is the brain power in there where they can work out those kinds of things. So thank you very much for your contribution.
What I am saying is when the police, the head of the police force is not united, I guarantee you, I am somebody I do not bet, but I guarantee you, because I know you are a man of many resources, find out how many of those senior officers, gazetted officers, speak to one another professionally, not personally, professionally. And that is one of the issues. The public is paying for something that they do not have to pay for. Because one senior officer may have information that they just need to give to the other one who is responsible for so and so, and then they remain hush mouth because they're not talking to you. It's just a reality.
Yeah.
So sometimes, let me tell you, St. Lucia is a good nation. St. Lucia is a peaceful nation. Right? I have no fear that St. Lucia can resolve the issues. But when we are seeing persons who are given the responsibility of such high offices are more careless than persons on the street, we have to ask, what are we dealing with?
Okay.
And my brother, all that is happening at police headquarters at this time is persons fighting to become commissioner of police, and they cannot even perform at a corporal rate or sergeant rate. But they want to be wearing the khaki for the retirement package, for the prestige of wearing khaki and what is on the shoulder. It's just a sad state of affairs.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. We continue taking your calls. 758-487-9849. That's the WhatsApp line number. And 4533911. Many, many years ago, in the aftermath of Operation Restore Confidence, when the Americans refused to accept the results of our own inquest in terms of the killings that took place, and the inquest basically cleared all the police officers, the Americans claimed that they had information, credible evidence that gross human rights violations took place. And they they insisted that they wanted to investigate the matter. They were not believing what was coming. And you know what was happening? Policemen and policewomen, in order to mess up others that they felt were going to get something they felt like a promotion, went about singing like canaries to the Americans. Things they never told the inquest, they told the Americans. Lie detector tests were introduced, which the Americans carried out, you know. And some people flunked it badly. Some people claim to have knowledge of things that they knew not what they were talking about, because they figured that what the Americans were doing was a pathway towards me getting a promotion, towards me become commissioner, assistant commissioner. And so they went implicating one another, left, right, and center, messing up one another. And then when the time came for them to substantiate what they were saying, they could not substantiate what they were saying. Let me give you one example. One of them went and insisted that Christopher Dudas Cook, that Jamaican, you know, gang leader and so on, and drug lord and all of that, that Cook was in St. Lucia. Another officer told him, look, we have all the intelligence and all the travel movements, and they are not showing that Cook left Jamaica during that period. Yes, it took a while before they could catch him, because the guy's familiar with all the ghettos and all those places, and he had hiding places. But we can say for a fact, a few of them turned against that police officer to try to destroy him, because he was undercutting their narrative. Why? Because they wanted to make a case of possessing more knowledge than they actually possessed, and say that Dudas Cook was in, and the man was never in St. Lucia. You understand? And they made it look like it was that other officer who was hiding and concealing things and so on. And, you know, saying, yes, for a fact, no, Cook was in. So these are the kind of things we have had. You know, people not saying things that they should say and saying things that they should not say. That kind of thing, just to try to mess up others. We have a call on the line. Hello? Yeah, we have two, I'm told. Hi, caller. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon.
The issue of our security in St. Lucia today needs a gearbox change, needs an engine change, needs a new perspective. I want to recommend to the Commission, and Commission I support in you knew. I think you have a good heart. I think you have been tampered, you've been suppressed. I want to suggest to both you and the government to let us take a look at the Scotland Yard. Let us employ the Scotland Yard to come and take a look at our high command when it comes to our security, especially with evidence. If Sir John Compton was around, may his soul rest in peace, he would look for external help in this case. We cannot solve the problem. Things have been happening for a long time the very same way. People shifting, people taking guns, people doing this. My suggestion today is to take a new approach. Liberate ourselves. Get the use of the Scotland Yard to come in and have a very good look and advise us as to what to do. And I want to ask whether the lie detectors are not working. And if they're not working, something is wrong, because a few little policemen from in the pool should be able to be caught or trapped or
okay.
blocked.
Got your point.
Yeah.
Got your point. Thank you very much. Let's take our final caller. Real Issues, you're on the air. Okay, we lost that call. Terry, you want to do a wrap up?
Yes, maybe tomorrow, Shelton, we had some videos to show, and maybe just discuss a little cash is enough. Honorable Stephen King, but we'll do that hopefully tomorrow, God willing.
Yeah. People, be careful with the whole online banking, the messages that you get, text messages. For example, I've been getting this message from BOSL, Bank of St. Lucia online. Your account has been placed on hold due to unusual activities. Please go to, and it gives a website, https://bosl-fix.info/ to restore and regain. You know what's the fact? I don't have a BOSL bank account. I have not had one for many years. So why am I getting this? This website that they're telling you to go to, the moment you go there, they have a keystroke logger waiting for you. They take in your information, tell you to enter whatever. It's a phishing kind of thing. So in case they make a lucky hit on someone who does have a BOSL account, who will log in, put in your password, your PIN number online, whatever you put, and then they capture that, and then they can go into your account and do havoc and transfer money and all sorts of things. So just be very careful with this. I think somebody has been, talking about that, an official of the bank who I think has been putting out a good message in Quayle for those things. But that's the real issues for today. Thank you so very much, Terry. Thank you, Jaquan. Thanks everyone for being part of it. Until same time tomorrow from 12:30 to 2 on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, Facebook and YouTube live streaming. Shelton Daniel, Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, signing off.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce the ability to perform.
Double Daily Grand 3, 5, 13, 22. Big 4, 7, 4, 6, 7. The Big 4 Multi-X ball drawn is 3X. Pick 2, 4, 0. The Pick 2 Multi-X ball drawn is 2X. One off 8, 8, 2. Lucky 3, 9, 5, 6. The Lucky 3 Multi-X ball drawn is 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff.